Are you suspicious that you too may have ADHD? Well, I've created a little checklist of things that you might relate to. Disclaimer. Now, I'm not an expert, but within this checklist, there are lots of experts' opinions, as well as a few of my quirky little traits that I think just go with ADHD. And most of the ADHD friends I have the same quirky little traits. Anyway, it's pretty lengthy, so if you do have ADHD, I'm going to try to keep it entertaining and fun so that you don't drift off if it gets too slow. So ADHD does present differently in different people, so you might relate to quite a few and then you'll think, no, that's totally not me. And that's when you need to talk to the professional. Do you have trouble following proper procedure and going through established channels? Do you have trouble getting organised? Are you really impatient? Like standing in a queue is like torture. Or if somebody is waffling on talking about nothing for too long, it's just like you want to shake them. Do you have lots of projects going at once but trouble finishing anything? Do you sometimes just blurt things out before you think and you get surprised that other people take offence to that? In Australia we call it dropping clangers. Do you ever drop clangers? Do you feel like that you sometimes just can't get your act together? Have you got a hot temper? Would you rather stick needles in your eyes than do bookwork? Do you have a tendency to drive fast? Have you had quite a few speeding tickets? And have you nearly lost your license or maybe lost your license before? When you find something you love, you could do it all day and all night. They call that hyperfocus. Are you terrible with names, dates, birthdays? Sorry, Kendra. Do you have any addictions? You don't need to tell me now, but like gambling, overspending, overeating, what else is there? Are you often restless or fidgety? You gotta tap your foot or tap the pen or make annoying noises, or maybe you're calm on the outside but inside your mind is going. Do you have to do things your own way? In your teenage years, were you drawn to risk-taking? Did you do stuff that your mum doesn't know about? A lot of stuff. Do you feel this sense of underachievement or not meeting your goals, no matter how much you've actually done? Are you ever in a conversation with someone and they're talking to you and you realise that you've drifted off somewhere far away and they're still talking to you and you're kind of trying to piece together what they've said and you're just praying that they don't ask you a question about what they were talking about? When you get a good idea, do you have to do it immediately? If you're doing housework, do you go to put the washing on and you get distracted by the dog because it's so cute and you've just got to pat it and then you see that the dog's water's empty and you go to fill the water bowl and you trip over a toy and you think, that toy, that hasn't got batteries and I should get the batteries for that. And then, what was I doing to start with? Are you either completely bored or utterly obsessed? Are you a procrastinator? Do you have trouble just getting started? Do you sometimes feel like an imposter, like when you're around people, maybe academics, they call them neurotypical people, you feel like you're going to get busted for not knowing stuff that you just should know? Do you sometimes forget appointments? You had it written down, but you still somehow forgot? Or maybe you're just late a lot. Do you impulsively spend money and you can justify everything that you spend it on, but it's like you know that you shouldn't have done it, but you just couldn't help yourself? If you're around my age, have you had lots of jobs or have you always worked for yourself because you can't really be told what to do by many people? Do you have a tendency to overshare, like you just meet someone and you click and you just tell them everything straight away? Are most of the people that you hang around with by choice, like friends, are they a lot like you because you tend to just get each other? Are you super sensitive to criticism? I think most of us are people pleasers because we can't handle being wrong or told off or doing the wrong thing or not being perfect. Do you often feel insecure, like really hard on yourself and not good enough and quite embarrassed about how you look and things like that? Did you notice I'm wearing a band-aid on my face at the moment? I nearly didn't film because of my band-aid. Do you thrive under pressure? Like in a crisis situation? Your brain just switches on and you know what to do? Are you always looking for stimulating things to do because being bored is just... Do you tend to change plans frequently? Like, I'll meet you at this cafe at 2 p.m. Oh, no, let's just meet down the river at 3 p.m. And now, actually, I think I'm feeling a bit tired. Why don't we do that tomorrow instead? But I'll check in and see if I'm feeling up to it at the time. Is that okay? Do you leave deadlines until the last minute and then your brain switches on and you go, cram? Are you highly creative? New ideas just come to you. Your favorite thing is brainstorming. You could start a new business regularly and you do, and then you don't follow through with those businesses. Would you say that you're intuitive? Like when you walk in a room, you can feel people's energy and it's all a bit overwhelming at times and you can kind of tell what they're thinking and feeling about you. Do you take shortcuts? Like you can always see the quickest way to do something, even if it's not done all that well, you just get it done as fast as you can? Are you clumsy or accident prone? Do you bump into things? Do you fall over? Do you spill your coffee every time you make it? And break stuff in general and like hit posts with your car and get in trouble a lot from your husband? If you don't have a project on the go or you've lost direction and you don't have a focus, do you feel really down and worthless and like you question the meaning of life? Do you have an intense desire to fulfill your life purpose? You've just got to work out what it is. Has anxiety been a big part of your life? Yeah. Is it hard for you to understand if you're bright or actually a bit dumb? Like, I can't tell. Sometimes I'm bright, sometimes I'm really dumb. Do you fail to follow through on commitments that you've made to others? That's so shameful. Do you worry all the time about stuff, like stuff that you don't need to worry about, but then stuff that you should worry about, you actually don't worry about? Can you not read manuals? Okay, so that's a pretty long list. And as I said, I'm not an expert, but within that checklist, there are lots of experts' opinions mixed in with my own little observations of my strange, quirky behavior. So what I'll do is put some stuff in the show notes of places you can find expert advice. But seriously, if you've ticked a lot of those boxes, I would say investigate it for yourself. Ask me questions, send me a message on Facebook, Destination Happiness, or through this particular little thread down the bottom. And if you do end up in the ADHD club, I'm excited for you because once you harness the tricky parts, the sky's the limit. They actually say ADHDers have omnipotential. We can do anything as long as we can actually get engaged in it in the first place. So stay tuned. Heaps more to come. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Angie Hilton and see you next time.